Hello, everyone. Welcome to my webinar on how to lead an abundant and impactful kids yoga business, going from empty yoga mats to sold out classes. I'm Laura McKeegan, founder and lead teacher of Divine Light Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me today. So it might be that you're here because you're just starting out as a children's yoga teacher, or maybe you've been doing this for a while and you're still struggling to fill your classes. Or it might be that you want to transition from a part-time to a full-time children's yoga teacher. Whatever your reason for being here, you're all probably struggling with the same challenge: filling your yoga classes and leading a mindful yoga business that is not only impactful, but is also abundant. Now, you may not consider yourself as a business or a business owner. It might be that you're running 1 or 2 yoga classes a week, but my guess is you're either doing it independently, in which you have to fill the classes yourself, or you're doing it in collaboration with a school or a studio, in which you probably still have to fill the classes in some way or another. So that means that not only do you have to fill the role of children's yoga teacher, but you also have to be their promoter, marketer, publicist, organizer, expense manager, and just overall one-man band. And I know that this can be overwhelming, it can be stressful, and leaves you often feeling exhausted, confused, and certainly stressed. I know this because I have actually been there. I've been exactly where you are right now. So I feel you, and I definitely hear your challenges, but I am here to share with you the secrets and the lessons that I've learned through struggling to start my own business in children's yoga and meditation. I have taken myself from empty yoga mats in donation-based classes, which is so disheartening, to yoga studios and schools flying me across the globe to work with their students, teaching 60, sometimes 70 children at a time. And that there is a photo of me. You can hardly see me amongst all the children, but I'm just there on the right-hand side. And I was teaching over 50 children at this point. This was working with the British International School of Manila to lead their health and well-being week. And so every day I was working with big groups of children and teens to share mindfulness, yoga, and meditation during their health and well-being week. And so that is where I am right now. I truly am leading an abundant and impactful children's yoga business. And that's really what I'm here to support you to do and what I want to share with you today. Now, it may be that you don't really want to start teaching 60 or 70 children at a time. You might not want to be flying all across the world to share your message and share your passion. But whether you want to lead a full-time yoga business or you want to move from having empty yoga classes to sold-out sessions, then you're in the right place. This is a really, really practical workshop, so you are going to need a pen and paper, because aside from making some valuable notes, we are going to be doing a lot of writing together. So let's just have a look at our goals for this workshop. I really want to support you and share with you some practical techniques and tips on how to lead an abundant and impactful children's yoga business. Children's yoga should create a positive impact. It can create huge change in your family, your community, and globally. And as we're making this change and creating a positive impact, it should also be abundant. I'll be sharing 3 secrets here, so 3 practical techniques in particular. And the third one is the one thing that you really, really need to know in order to go from empty yoga mats to sold out classes. So that one thing is going to be really essential to creating an abundant and mindful kids yoga business. So make sure you stick around to the end to get hold of that one thing. We'll be taking action and implementing these techniques today, which is why you need that pen and paper or something to write down, because we're going to be looking or creating an action plan and looking at how you can implement these strategies right now so that you can fill your kids' yoga and meditation classes and really start to lead an abundant yoga business. So this is where, certainly with regards to my technology, I started teaching children's yoga full-time 6 years ago. And I struggled a lot for the first 2 years. I was working 12-hour days. I was in Hong Kong at that time, so I was running all over Hong Kong from job to job. My energy was just completely depleted. Relationships were ruined. I felt disconnected from my own yoga practice. And I just kept wondering, why am I even doing this? And certainly, why did I feel this way? Because it really seemed like all of the yoga teachers that I met and worked with were working just a few hours a week, making a great income. They were very abundant. They had lots of time for their own practice, and they thoroughly enjoyed their freedom, having opportunities to work on new, exciting projects and opportunities. And I just didn't feel like that was the case for me. And I didn't understand why, because I already at this point had over 15 years experience of teaching. I, as an individual, was very marketable to schools and yoga studios. But the reason that I wasn't finding these opportunities and I wasn't working on exciting new projects, and that I had to run around working 12-hour days, sometimes doing one-on-one classes that were actually meant to be a full class of children, but I just couldn't fill the classes. And the real reason for this was because I didn't have any business knowledge. I had no knowledge or really any interest in the sales, marketing, or promotion. My money mindset was non-existent, and I really didn't know where to start at all. So I had all of the skills that one could possibly need to be a fabulous children's yoga teacher. I knew how to plan. I knew behavior management really well. I knew how to work with schools, with teachers. I knew how to work in the education system with parents and with the local community, but I just didn't have the essential business knowledge that I really needed. So I actually continued for 2 years working really hard, trying to start up new projects and collaborations that just didn't go anywhere. Even though there were amazing ideas and they would have been very positive, very impactful on my community, again, I just didn't have the knowledge of how to reach the right people or where to start with running these programs and events. So a couple of years after this, I officially set up my own business. I officially set up Divine Light Yoga, and I made the decision to be an international yoga teacher. And I realized at this point that I really needed a website. And so I taught myself how to set up my website and a business Facebook page. And I did it using this technology that you see here. So at that time, and again, this was only a couple of years ago, I still had my Nokia 3210, my trusty Nokia, and one of those tiny little, wasn't even a laptop, it was a notebook, which really did nothing at all. Wasn't very helpful, wasn't very useful, and my time definitely wasn't productive. But I used those two pieces of technology to set up my own website and my business Facebook page. And it was super basic, but I just thought, well, it's only a place to refer people to when they asked about my retreats or teacher trainings that I intended to lead. So I launched my website and my Facebook page, and then I waited and waited and waited for the business to come in. And now, obviously, reflecting on that, I realized that I was very, very naive and still had absolutely no idea what I was doing in order to run a business. So officially, I had a registered yoga business, but I had absolutely no idea where to start or how to get it up and running. So for the first 18 months of my business, the only students that I had on my course, and the only real collaborations or connections that I had, were friends of friends or work colleagues or friends of previous students that I had. And the reason was because I still didn't have the knowledge of marketing, sales, or business. So 2 years after setting up my own business, I still didn't know what I was doing. Setting up a website and one Facebook page just isn't enough to reach the right people. And so it wasn't enough to make the impact that I really wanted to make. And again, I had all the knowledge and experience that one could possibly need to run positive, mindful, and very effective children's yoga classes, but I wasn't reaching the right people because I didn't have the business knowledge. And a lot of people, a lot of my peers and my mentors suggesting hiring people such as web designers, marketing experts, business managers. And these all seemed like great ideas, but I definitely couldn't afford it at this time. Those options just seemed very expensive. And also, even if I was to hire a marketing expert, I had no idea what I was looking for. I had literally no idea at all what it took to run a business or to hire someone to run the business for me. So I was really, really at the basic, complete beginner. I would say even if you can have someone who's even before an amateur, that was where I was. Even though I had a registered business, I really didn't know how to run it at all. So after this really, what felt like a very long and painful time with lots of challenges and struggles, I realized that I really needed to sort things out and I needed to educate myself, because I was adamant that I would do this independently, and that even if I was to hire a web designer or a marketing manager, that I wanted to know exactly what was going on with my business. I knew I had an incredible training to share and that I had a very positive message to share with people, and all I really needed to do was understand how to reach more people. So first of all, I decided to look into money mindset, so understanding pricing strategies, how to convey my worth to schools and teacher training students. So I completed a couple of courses about money mindset to start with. And then I moved on to really understanding marketing and sales strategy, coaching and communication with my audience. I really needed to learn some tech savvy tricks and tips to understand technology in a way that would work for me and my very simple technology that I have here. And understanding pricing, branding, and really how to get clear on my big vision so that I could share it with schools, educators, professionals, and parents. And over the last 18 months in particular, I have really learned how to do all of this in a fun and manageable way, in a way that works for me. And so now I've moved from scrambling around to find teaching jobs and trying to get even just 2 or 3 children in my classes. And I've moved from that to now being able to share yoga, mindfulness, and meditation all over the world. within the local governments and a variety of schools and education systems. And working on large scale, filling my yoga classes now is not something that I need to worry about at all. And so many of my teacher trainees, those that have worked with me to create successful businesses in children's yoga, those that have trained with me have now gone on to lead such interesting and definitely impactful businesses, opening their own yoga studios, working within school curriculums and developing programs for the local education board, working with the local government in social and community projects. They have fully booked courses. So this is not just one-off classes, but fully booked courses with wait lists. Leading therapeutic sessions with families, so one-on-one sessions, and leading parent-teacher workshops in areas in which they see a need in the community or in their area of expertise combined with yoga and meditation. So there are many options and routes to leading a successful children's yoga business. And you actually might have your own in mind right now, or maybe you're not sure yet, but you know that you want to make a difference and that you want to have the freedom to work for yourself and the abundance as well as creating a positive impact. So let's move on to my top 3 secrets of leading a mindful and impactful and abundant children's yoga business. So the first secret is that you need a goal. Goals give us direction, motivation, and inspiration. Now, many of us, like myself, we really do like to go with the flow and often change our minds as well. And sometimes we don't want to put too much pressure on ourselves, don't want to set ourselves up for potential failure, understandably. But goals are really about having direction, knowing what we want or what we need, and taking action. Goals really do inspire and motivate us. And the best things about goals are that you can always change them if they're not working for you anymore. So goals motivate, inspire, get us clear, and get us focused. And if we don't have goals, it can often mean that we lack direction, that we don't know where we're going, or that we lack commitment and find it often difficult to motivate ourselves. Your goal could be an income level, so a particular salary that you want to reach, whether that's monthly or annually. Your goal might be a number of children that you want in each class, because each teacher has their own limit of what they would really like in their class. So some teachers want to work one-on-one, others feel more comfortable or enjoy it when they have a class of 10, and other teachers feel really comfortable and fully thrive in a class of 30 or 40 children. So that number, that goal of how many children you would like in your classes is completely personal to you. Your goal might be a number of classes that you want to teach each week. So maybe you're teaching 1 or 2 a week, and you want to increase that so that you can become a full-time children's yoga teacher. Or your goal might be a big vision. So it might be something that you've always dreamed of. It might be something that you're thinking, oh, wouldn't that be great? But you don't actually have you don't really feel that you're actually going to get there. And I am here to tell you that your big vision is possible to manifest if you have goals, if you have direction, motivation, and commitment. So it might be that your big vision is working towards having your own yoga studio, or it might be that you want to work within schools or universities or the education board within your local area. It might be that you want to become a certified yoga school. So whatever your big vision is, it's definitely possible to manifest, but you need to set the goal first. And your goals should be specific. Wishy-washy goals are not motivating. They don't spark action, and they don't require commitment. So specific goals, whether it's a specific income level, a particular number of children, so not just I would like more children in my classes, but I would like to have 12 children in each class. I would like to lead 7 yoga classes a week. My big vision is to lead a summer camp next year, or to open up a yoga studio next year. So whatever your goals are, and it might be that you have many, many ideas, or it might be, this might be something that you struggle with, and that's absolutely fine. But we're just going to write down now 2 to 5 goals. So if you are a person like myself who has many, many different ideas, try to just stick to maybe 3 to 5. And if you're struggling right now to think of any goals, start off with thinking about how many children you would like in your classes. So if we were saying from September, how many children would you love to see in your class? So this is if you didn't have restrictions, the restrictions that you might have right now, where you're not reaching the right people, where you're struggling to get people through the door. Regardless of that, how many children would you like to have in your class? If you could really create that dream number, what would it be? And then also think about how many classes would you love to teach per week or per month? So again, if we take away any limiting factors, so financially or time, how many classes would you love to be teaching? How many children's yoga classes would you love to be teaching each week or each month? Because again, that is something personal. I was very, very eager when I first started to go into full-time yoga teaching. And I managed to do that within just a couple of months of actually getting my certification. So I had my big vision, which was to become a full-time yoga teacher. And I really did manifest that by having my goals set. So write down 2 to 5 goals right now. And then we're going to move on to secret number 2. So now that you have a couple of goals written down, so you've got your direction, you're committed, you've got your motivation, and now you need to recognize your USP, your unique selling point. Recognizing your unique selling point. So why should parents pay to come to your classes? There's over 77,000 yoga teachers registered on Yoga Alliance, and that's just the ones that are registered. So my estimation is that there's at least double that amount out there. So probably over 150,000 yoga teachers worldwide. And I'm guessing that there's quite a few children's yoga teachers in your community alone. So why do people need to pay to come to your class? What makes you unique? What makes you different from those other 77,000 yoga teachers? What makes you and your classes valuable and worthy? Now, I know this might sound really daunting, and often when I do this on my business workshops, on my the business of children's yoga workshops that I do, people initially, they sometimes think of 1 or 2, sometimes they can't think of any. But if you really think about it, I know that you'll be able to come up with at least 5. And actually on my workshops, I try to make people come up with at least 10 unique selling points. I'm going to give you some ideas now of what they might be. And so get your pen and paper ready and write some of these down. Are you a certified yoga teacher, whether that's a 200-hour certified children's yoga teacher, prenatal teacher, 500-hour yoga teacher? Are you a certified yoga teacher in any way? Or what additional certificates do you have? So it might be that you've done some professional development, whether that's in yoga or anything to do with childcare and education. Do you have a degree or practical experience in education, in therapy or counseling, sports, special educational needs, the arts, physio, occupational therapy, educational psychology, medicine or health? Do you speak a different language or multiple languages? Are you a parent? Are you a caregiver? So these are just some things that make you unique, because not every yoga teacher does have a certification from a registered children's yoga school. Not every children's yoga teacher has a 200 or 500-hour teacher training. Not everyone is a parent. Not everyone is an educator or a therapist or has a degree in educational psychology or physiotherapy. Not everybody has the anatomical knowledge of a medical or health practitioner. So these are the things that make you unique. So I hope you've written down at least 5. If you're struggling, that's okay. Again, this can be a little bit daunting, and sometimes we don't recognize our own strengths and our own value. But it's really, really important to recognize and appreciate your own values. And this is going to help you to sell your classes, because when you're marketing your classes, when you're promoting your classes, you're actually promoting yourself as the teacher, because this is what parents, schools, and studios want to know about. They want to know about you, your expertise, your approach to teaching. They want to know why they should choose you. And even if it feels uncomfortable or even a bit cringy to think of this idea of selling or promoting yourself, but it's not really about that. It's about recognizing, acknowledging, and appreciating your qualities and what makes you unique as a children's yoga teacher. So if you're struggling with this right now, because we're going to move on to step number 3, which really is a very important one. I would say it is the most essential thing, really the one thing that you need to know. So if you're struggling with secret number 2, identifying your unique selling point, come back to this after we've finished this workshop. So don't just ignore it. If you recognize that now that it feels uncomfortable or difficult for you, take some time away and come back to it later on. Okay, so step 3, or secret number 3, this is the one thing that you really need to know about. So you've got your goal, you're motivated, you're focused, you're committed, you recognize your unique strengths, your unique selling point, so you can promote yourself and therefore promote your awesome program and your teachings. And now, the really practical stuff, the one thing. How do you get the children through the door? How do you get the parents and schools to eagerly pay you the price that you're worth for your classes? How does children's yoga become abundant and impactful for you and your community? Raise your visibility. If no one knows about your classes, how can you expect people to come? Your classes are not empty because no one needs kids yoga, or because they can't afford to pay, or they think you're a crappy teacher and don't like your classes. That is not the reason that your classes are empty. Your classes are empty because no one knows that your classes exist. Now, I know right now you might be thinking, oh, but I tell everyone that I speak to that I'm a children's yoga teacher, or I post all the time on my Facebook page. And it might feel like you're doing a lot. And perhaps you are spending a lot of time promoting your classes, but you're probably not actually having the right impact. So it's likely that you are spending a lot of time promoting, but it's not in the right places or to the right people. And that is essential. You need to raise your visibility, get in front of the people that you want to come to your classes. So here's just a few ways in which you can raise your visibility. You could have a website, business pages on Facebook and Instagram. So I only have an Instagram business page. I do not have a personal page for Instagram. And I have a Facebook business page, which is completely separate from my personal page. Local or global advertising. You could do podcasts, get involved with some podcast interviews, YouTube or video tutorials. You could collaborate with community, education, health or well-being centers. Or you could join some sort of family or health and well-being events in your local community or even the global community. And these are just a few that you can do for free. This is free marketing, okay? So I'm not talking about things that you need to pay for, that you need to invest a lot of time or money. These are some of the suggestions I have for raising your visibility for free. And you could be very, very successful in your kids' yoga classes and in your children's yoga business if you just use a couple of these approaches.